Hi, this is Matt from 914 Rubber. Today we're going to be working on installing a new main targa seal. Now this is the new seal that we've produced that has an improvement in that it's made like the original factory seal. Other seals on the market have the metal tucked inside of here, so if you put it on your car and try and take it back off, the metal's likely to come out with it. This is made like the factory so that it won't do that. Now, this seems like a fairly involved process, but it's really not that bad once you get a few key elements out of the way. So to start with, the flange that comes up along the window here has a little screw hole that is right here. You're going to go ahead and get this piece over that tab that is the guide that comes down your window. Once you have that in place, then you can start to work in the tracks that are on the sides of these seals from the inside out. The main targa seal mounts on top of your windshield and down in the tracks in front of the window. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to need to clean up the tracks and take out the little indents that are made by the factory to pinch the original seals into place. They'll often look like this, which makes it impossible for you to put a new seal back into that track without first tuning it up to clean that track up. This metal tab seats down under the seal like this. To fit it in there, you'll notice that is just a little longer than what I have room in this angle right here. So I'm going to go ahead and trim a little bit off of that metal so that it'll seat nicely in there. I want to get it to the point where that screw hole will line up with that hole, and that's where my anchor starts. Okay, so here's the super fun thing. This screw, if you put it straight in like that, it's going to want to go in this direction. The hole that you need to line it up with actually goes this direction. So you have to take the screw, fold this out, so that it can actually aim up where you're trying to go. And one extra set of hands here would probably be great. So the screw, once you start to push it in, will follow this up to find its home. So you just have to have this flap over the outside of this. So you want to have your trim in place. Your rubber is going over the top of this, so the screw is going to go over and through that. So pull it back with the screw in, get it over that lip, start to push it up that direction. And you can seat it. If you can see, the screw is starting to come up there. So the trick with most of the rubber things is a little bit of soft soap. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a little bit on my finger, about that much, and I'm going to work it down the grooves that are on the seal that I'm trying to pop into the track. And I'll do that on both sides to make it a little bit easier for those to pop in. And since it'll dry out, I'm going to do a little bit at a time. I can run it all the way down, and maybe I'll get lucky. Okay. Now, I can start to push the back end up into the track and then start to work the front end in. You can use a flathead screwdriver. I prefer the plastic trim tools. I can feel it kind of seating in the back. See how it's sitting up there? I know it's in the back of the track. And then I can start to work my way in. Okay, so I can continue to work this in. And if it gets a little dry, once you find your rhythm, it'll be a lot easier to do the other side. Now, I have it all the way in the track, but you'll notice it's a little too long because these are left with a little extra length so that you can trim them for an exact fit. It's not necessarily going to be right at the bottom of the chrome trim. It's going to be where it interacts with the door. So if I look at that, that's pretty close. So I'm going to go ahead and cut right about here. So a little soft soap on the blade. Don't need a lot of force. Just patiently working it back and forth. Especially as I get towards the end. I don't want to end up cutting into my dashboard. So now I've trimmed the bottom up. Let's see how we did. Perfect. That'll keep water out of my car for a while. Now when I go back up to the top, I notice that's sticking out a little farther than I want it to. So what I'm going to do, that you can do with this one that you can't with others, is see what's happening? That tab is still interacting. So I'm going to push that down a little bit, pull that corner up over it, and reseat it. Now I've got a nice seal. I'm going to work that across the car, and then I'll do the same thing on the other side. That's all there is to it.